Oh my goodness. You just made my day. Just because you hit play. Thank you so much. Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to yet another edition of Richard's Rant. As you know, the morning is the best part of the day, and I always wish you that sentiment, regardless of the time of the day that we meet, because that is the energy that I want you to have. That energy of promise and of hope. And, before anything has gone wrong during the course of your day. However, contradictory, this rant, I'm thinking to call it Army of the Dead. I believe I confessed before that in an effort to raise traffic across all the platforms that we are published or posted, we have been naming them in line with what is trending or what people are researching. That also did lead me to notice big disconnects between the demographics as to what is in the newspaper, what people are reacting to, and what people are displaying on social media. But I am toying with naming this one Army of the Dead. That is what is trending on Twitter. It's a movie about zombies in Las Vegas. And it resonated with me as I was looking for a title because after reading three newspapers, first, the pickings was slim. And all of the news was just depressing to me. Even the business section, all of it was depressing to me. But here are my thoughts and views. Around 100 people. This rant was recorded on the 21st of May. Around 100 people were arrested for breaking the curfew. Among them was a 15-year-old boy that stole his whoever he living with car. I don't know what. I think it have more to that story. I really think it has more to that story because that doesn't make any kind of sense. However, at 15 years old, your brain isn't fully developed, so I don't know if it's just stupidity or if there was a motive, either a motive to go towards or a motive to escape. But among them was him. And of everyone arrested, they were all men. And that was curious to me as to why they were all men. Is it that they were going for something or someone, or is it that they were just feeling trapped in their home and needed to get out? A lot of them were caught in their cars, like the 15-year-old. One of them was caught on the beach. Cars are something that is marketed mainly to men. I am one of the few men probably in existence that not only does not have a car, but does not have interest in getting a car because I see it as a liability. It doesn't bring in any money. It is a million times more expensive than traveling, and I don't see the great inconvenience with traveling. When you travel, you sit, you are driven, you can read. I usually catch up on social media or do some kind of brain activity, brain games and stuff on my phone, or also trying to revive my Spanish with an app on my phone. Those are the things that I do while I travel. When my company was more profitable, I would be doing proposals on the way to the meeting or sending out artwork, approving stuff, all while traveling. So I never had that desire to give myself something else to do, which is driving myself. I did, however, accept that one day I would, especially if I have children. And that is only for my convenience when I have children. Or if I do. It's only for my convenience, really. Because as soon as they reach old enough, they're going to learn to travel. And yeah, I'm not going to be driving them anywhere or encouraging their mother to drive them anywhere either. They have to learn to be self-sufficient and to know things. From traveling, there are few things that I don't know. There are few experiences that I have not had. When you are in your car, you know about your experience and your day. When you are traveling, you interact with the public. You get a sense as to what is going on around you and what is important to many other people. So, not to mention how to get around and how to get things done. Plus, there's the fitness part of it as well. You automatically gain a 5 or 10 pounds when you start driving as opposed to walking and standing for taxis and whatever have you. And of course, there are those times when it's really super inconvenient to travel. And for that, there is TTRS and Alrighty and Lyft, and I think another one has popped up as well, all to replace Uber. So the other reason is that I decided that when I'm going to get my vehicle, since it is a liability, I would need mine to be an asset. As such, I would be hoping to purchase multiple, lease them, or put them on the road to make money, rent them something. But either way, they should be accumulating enough money to pay the installment and or maintenance on the one that I'm actually using. So that is why I don't have one. I'm probably one of the few men that I only met one other man that did not have his license and did not have a vehicle, and he was older than me. So, yep. Men have cars because they want that freedom, that independence, that ability, and it's something to go and do whatever they want. And it's something that gives, it's like a mental freedom for most men. So, it was interesting to me that all 100 were men and they were all caught in their cars. Means that there are some side effects of this lockdown. No one seems to be mentally ill or unemployed or anything like that. This is just normal cognitive relief and reasoning on display. And all of them seem to have integrity. They had no desire to waste the court's time. They all pleaded guilty. They all accepted the fine. The integrity aspect was particularly refreshing for me, especially since not too long after those stories, which I will just call the COVID stories, they spoke of Sean Luke and that ongoing trial that I am not getting. At no point in time is the newspaper reporting that the defense is saying that the accused are innocent. Instead, I'm hearing all sorts of circumspect crap. They were abused, the validity of the DNA evidence, and all this kind of shit. And really, if it is, they know they did it. After 14 years, you had enough time to grow up, make peace with, accept, own it, and let's move on. That's how I feel about it. But I'm always, cut and dry and straightforward. There was another enlightening story where a woman was she was going to be a victim of a robbery, and she beat the person. And that one was good because it was a reflection of all the things that I said before when we were really carrying on about Andrea Barrett, and not the true reason why she was executed. And it was becoming like a war against men and portraying women as victims. And I kept saying that women have natural weapons apart from needing pepper spray or wanting pepper spray. Women have natural weapons that they can have that no one will think twice about. A nail clipper. It usually is a Swiss Army version that has a penknife in it, a pair of scissors, a needle, and a thread. These things could all be used as weapons. Simple, simple weapons. Earrings, high heels, stockings, bras, all of these things. So the story went that homegirl tried to sell her iPhone 11 on Facebook. She left San Fernando with her man, come to Port of Spain, and the person said, "All right, bet let me just go and check it with our brethren, make sure it's working good. He just fixed phone." They say, "All right, that makes sense." As they proceed and they almost reach George Street, the person snatched the phone and run towards City Gate. And she say, not a shit of that. She ran them down, grabbed the person, take the phone, and proceeded to beat the person before police intervene. And that's the kind of thing I want to hear. Even if it is she had run down the person and she got beat instead, I still applaud it. I still applaud it. And there's no mention of what the boyfriend did. So I think he knew that he has a capable female, and as such, his role was probably just that of support. He's a modern man, so it seems to be just support because he wasn't mentioned beyond the taxi ride. So that is something inspirational, especially if it is the vaccines that America clearly stated is not FDA approved, and when it becomes FDA approved, they're not still going to use it, but we want it, and they want some China. So if it is those vaccines are going to cause cerebral palsy as is circulating, or the nanotechnology in it has metals that could cause other issues as circulating, or the DNA, RNA situation was never tested on humans and could have side effects as circulating, then who knows what could happen in the next couple months. Maybe that movie could come to pass. I have joked about it, but I am actually starting to believe that it could be a possibility. I started joking about it for comic relief, but so much evidence is coming out as to issues, not to mention a vaccine is usually tested for 2 years before placed in the public. So, and a lot of people are saying, well, I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor, I took it, and oh my goodness. So, then there's that whole suspicion with Bill Gates and his involvement and his views that the world's population needs to be curtailed. So, I ended up in a discussion in a news group on WhatsApp, and it was at first depressing, as usual. The person asked, "Hi members, I just wanted to know if what are your views on the statistics that are being read to us every day?" So I took the bait and I replied that it is not accurate because they have already admitted that there's a backlog and they are taking days and in some cases weeks to bring back the results. The virus has a moderate lifespan of approximately 2 weeks. So if they are taking up to 2 weeks to deliver some results, those people are recovered. In addition, all of this I said, in addition, since some people have no trust in the system, they are not even reporting the situation. And based on the government's decisions as compared to where the rest of the world is right now, one also has to wonder their motives and all of that. And the secrecy of it for patient confidentiality also allows ample opportunity for statistical manipulation. Then statistics can be used to show whatever you want it to show. So naturally, I got no response. Then someone else said it went I can't remember the exact view, and I do clear the messages regularly, but they took the stance of basically defending the government's position on the lockdown and all of that. And my stance is that the lockdown is shit. I believe there's a podcast already posted with that name. It's not the lockdown itself that is shit. of course, I wouldn't go into everything again, but it is what we are doing. We are not acknowledging that this is not a virus like HIV. This is a virus like the common cold, chickenpox, or rubella. It is amongst us. They are carriers. Unlike HIV, that they are carriers, you can only get it through sexual transmission. Actually, that's not even true, but mainly. Therefore, it is possible that if you don't have it or nobody in the population have it, that it would not be transmitted. It could be eradicated. But unlike the common cold, mumps, these kind of things, people have it. They carry it. It's a part of their DNA or configuration or whatever the asset is, but they have it. And they're asymptomatic. So once the lockdown is over, it's going to spike. So instead of telling people you could dead, and that is causing the issues for the so-called parallel healthcare system to be overwhelmed, because once somebody sneezes and they think they go dead, they go in and get tested, and it went overwhelmed. But that is what they wanted. Every day they come on the TV and frightening people. One of the reasons why the newspaper was so depressing is because the only creative journalism they decided to do was basically eulogies for a bunch of people that died. This one was a pastor, and he was a nice guy in the community, and he wasn't in the main age group, and just last week he gave out hampers and everybody loved him. This couple, they were together for 16 years and nobody never even see them fight, and they died within one day of each other, and this person was a mother, and this person was Mother Teresa herself, and the next one was a descendant of Jesus, and they all died. And I'm not making fun of them. Every death is a life lost, and of course, may they rest in peace. But come on, people, they're kind of causing their own issues. I went to the clinic for a sick leave. They treated me like a leper, but obviously I could talk. And they were like, well then, how it is you don't have COVID? I said, because I have no symptoms. But you just said that your nose was stuffy this morning, which is a symptom of the Sahara dust and the fact that it cleared up by me using a nasal spray. Unless that is a cure for COVID, all I need is a sick leave, please. But if it is you can't talk for yourself, my ass might be quarantined, most normal, like everybody else, and a statistic. Not to mention, I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people now that have gotten it in my circle, and none of them have died. All of them are fine so far, and only 4 out of the 7 I'm aware of actually got tested and reported it. The first 2 were early. I would have mentioned them before. They are the husbands, and as in a gay couple. That's not their last name. And the other one, they are people I consider family. A husband, a wife. The husband got really sick, and the wife, although she had it, carried him to get the oxygen, and they at home drinking Zepapeak and other bush remedies and doing just fine. And the other 3 living in the same home, and they just batten down and handling the scene. None of them are feeling like they're on death's door. None of them have died. None of them felt like they were at death's door. But they are not the stories that are being published. No hope, you go dead. There's also a video that I saw this morning of a guy saying, I don't know why the international media is reporting India as this horrible place where people are dying in the streets. Yes, we have a lot of COVID deaths, but hey, we have a lot of people. Period. This is a live shot of the people of India living their lives normal, buying the masala and the curry and cussing each other in the street. Typical day. Condolences to the deceased. And he moved on with his post. And that is the same thing I kept saying. Of course, India has the highest. India has the most people. India have the highest everything where humans are concerned. They are very fertile people. The Kama Sutra came about from their personal exploration. Anyway, so the bleakness continued in the business section, as I said, which is usually my refuge, but not today, not today, not today, not today, not today. We have Advanced Foam Limited. I think he did not get the memo that they're supposed to pretend to be in line with all of the various business organizations, so the government will give them a kickback. That is pure conjecture. That is not in the papers. That is deductive reasoning from the fact that the entire business rhetoric has changed, and they also ask for assistance from central bank. And that was discussed in previous rant as well. So, Advanced Foam spoke about the fact that one of the things that would help Trinidad and Tobago economy become diversified and help with the economic recovery after COVID, assuming it ever after COVID, is the manufacturing sector. And because of the lockdowns and the curfew, they are experiencing extreme difficulties in getting even stuff simply from the ports and importing their raw materials. This means that they are having extreme difficulty fulfilling their orders and they are becoming exposed to liability. And they're also losing business because people could get mattresses online. People could get mattresses from other sources. They don't have to get it from Advanced Foam Limited in Orange Grove. And he said that they have some big orders that they're hoping to fill so that they don't have to send home staff, whereby some hotels and stuff in the Caribbean higher up the chain have them outfitting the entire hotel and all of that. That was interesting to me because it is also telling me that if hotels up the chain are outfitting rooms, that they are preparing themselves for life after COVID, while we locking down Double Palm for reasons that I don't understand. Unless it is the people came to Double Palm after 9 and they are leaving before 5, what the ass it is you doing there? Because it's not essential, okay. How is it essentially creating any different issue from extra foods that had COVID cases? Is it that you're going to get COVID from the what? From the what exactly? Just wondering here, from what exactly? Because the only way you could get COVID in that situation, as far as I can see, is if the person that you jamming with have it. Otherwise, where's the risk? It cannot live on surfaces, so even if the people that used the room before you had it, they just change all the sheets and everything. The mattress have plastic. Yes, I've been to Double Palm, different locations as well. So the mattress have plastic. Everything is the room tile is not carpet. The bathroom tile is not carpet. They have towels, not mats. The towels are changed and washed. The sheets are changed and washed after every visit. So the only COVID thing you get in is if you bring COVID with you. Other than that is if the cashier have COVID and they sneeze on the money. So, oh, all right, let's expand it. The staff have COVID and they sneeze on the sheets, and you use it right after before it dry. Where's the odds of that happening? What are anybody trace anything back to Double Palm? Anyway, so he spoke about all of this, and I could just hear the stress that the gentleman is under, and it didn't have anything about us any success stories in business. It was mainly this. The other part was that although the oil price is raising just a little bit, we are having developed countries passing laws prohibiting banks from funding fossil fuel endeavors. So, how long really is this oil in our economy going to last to be able to sustain us before we have to find an alternative market, alternative thing to do, or diversify the fucking economy? How long? How much longer, really? How much longer? And then you have Turkey. They ban the import of plastics. Plastics, of course, is a big producer or one of the raw products or byproducts or products that goes into it. Oil have something to do with making plastic. Something big is an integral part. More than salt in your food. It's more like the ketchup on your KFC. It's an integral part. So, what we gonna do with this oil? Where's the end game here? And meanwhile, you have all these ministries, and I'm wondering what is the doing at this point, because you have like the EMA. I don't know what I'm doing. We have a ministry of something to do with digital technology or some shit so. And the minister they're talking about is 8 months in, and she can't really do much because he had to change the culture. All right, 8 months in, that is it for you. You could be fired. 5 months is probation. You get an extension of 1 month. Then maybe be put you on a 2-month contract because you're cute. And now that's the end. Why my money always wasting and playing the ass in this country? Then coming back to the group. The group devolved into, or they attempted to devolve, I didn't allow it, into the throwing talk. Well, if it is all you're fine and this and that, and I said it is not what all you're fine or anything like that. It is understandable. But if it is we are doing the lockdown, we should do it properly with repatriation. And when it is we come out with the mentality that this thing is amongst us. We are going to take our precautions and we are going to accept the consequences for our actions. Not that it is the way to deal with it. And then someone else chimed in and said, oh, she was asking, what if it is your mother goes out somewhere the other and contract COVID, basically because people jackass in the scene. I said, okay, how is that any different from my mother going into a taxi and getting killed because somebody don't know how to drive or the jackass is seen on the road? By your definition, then we ought to stop driving. Or get a clap. Then somebody come and say how he neighbor jackass in the scene because he had COVID and he family day and he not see set a isolation and all of this and whatnot, and they had it a while and all of that. So I told them, I think you're missing an opportunity to learn something here. In that, is your neighbor dead or dying? Is his family dead or dying? Have you contracted it? Have anybody in your family contracted it? So maybe, possibly, perhaps, is not the death sentence that you think it is. Thinking emoji. So, I don't know if it is we dead in the head and we just accepting all of this wholesale, or if it is we will end up dead because of the vaccine, or if it is we would end up dead from COVID itself, or if it is we would end up dead from the economic choices that are being made. And because I read an old paper as well from June last year, and I read that we got a $388 million loan from the IDB. And I'm wondering how the ass we're going to pay that back and what we do with the money. It was supposed to be for urban development. I live in one of the urban development houses, and there's no development of this urban anything. As a matter of fact, for 2 years now, I have been waiting for cupboards to be repaired, a filter to be placed on the tap because of sediment in the water, extreme sediment, not a social like discoloration. It has have stones in the thing. More than likely, it have metal pipes in place somewhere, and it probably degrading, and to stop water from coming into the gallery, and to fix the breaker that is tripped spontaneously, also a fire hazard, and to fix the electrical in my room. So I don't know where the 388 million go, but we take a loan from China on top of the loan that we take to build the Barataria interchange, the Shiguanas, the one by Grand Bazaar interchange, and the one by KFC Southern Main Road, Kirap interchange. So the reason why it was bleak is because all I am seeing is doom and gloom at this point, and a society that is reveling in death, that is probably marching towards death in its own way, or maybe death to reality as we know it. But there is life after death if you believe in the religious form, if you believe in the realistic form. You live on in history, you live on in the things that you did, the legacy that you left behind. So we'll see where this army of the dead marches to. But I thank you for tuning in to this edition of Richard's Rant. Subscribe to the vibe, and please leave your comments towards our mutual betterment. Vibes.